We are about 5 minutes away from start.
The music one more time. Make sure it's good. All right. You were able to hear that?
Correct.
Beautiful. I'm ready. So I'll start playing music right at 10:45.
Start time in less than 1 minute.
planting seeds as a pastime activity. The toxicity of our city, Yo, what if on the world, how do you own disorder? Now, somewhere between the sacred silence and sleep. Somewhere between the sacred silence and sleep. More wood for the fires,
Good morning, everybody. So as we listen to some music, feel free to access the slides at that link, or you could scan that QR code as well. We'll get started in about 30 seconds.
as a pastime activity. The toxicity of our city, Now, what if on the world, how do you own disorder? Now, somewhere between the sacred silence and sleep. Somewhere between the sacred silence and sleep.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to talk today about career-connected instruction and the tech pathways. Hope you enjoyed that music. If you'd like to access the slides, you can access it through that link or by scanning the QR codes here. And then I added a QR code on the next few slides if, as people join, they would like to access the slides. So, hi, everybody. So my name is Ross Berman. I'm the Pathways Instructional Coach for the Tech Pathways for Future Ready NYC. I was a computer science teacher and math teacher at a middle school in Jamaica, Queens for the past 12 years. That is a picture of me. One of my favorite memories was my first day at ACS for all PD, so I always love sharing that picture. So before we get started, I know we don't have a chat, but you could type in the Q&A. I'm wondering, knowing what you know now in the present day, if you can go back in time, what major would you pick in college and what job would you want to have? So knowing all of the things we know today about the world, about whatever, if you could go back in time, what major would you pick in college and what job would you want to have? So feel free to type it in the chat, in the Q&A, excuse me. And then I believe maybe if we can figure it out, maybe one person can raise their hand and come off mic and share. So let's take a few minutes. I see electrician. I see someone said love being an OT, but would love to design accessible playgrounds. I would have pushed to stick with CS, computer science, teaching Spanish, social worker, occupational therapy, psychology, coding, AI. Very cool. All right, let's see. Does someone want to try raising their hand and would like to share why that's the major they pick or job they pick? So if you press the raise hand button, let's see if this works. So I see Miss Mateo. I'm going to allow you to talk. Hopefully it lets you come off mic and you can share why you picked that. Miss Mateo, to let you unmute.
Yes. You can hear me?
Cool. Yes, we can hear you. Thank you so much for sharing.
I'm sorry, I'm lost. I'm sorry. It was a mistake. I'm
Oh.
trying to see what I was getting the QR and then I started to do something else.
Well, would you like to share, if you could go back in time, what major you would major in college or what job you would have?
Oh, let me see. You like, I would like to be a teacher again. And nothing that I can change, but more
Beautiful.
prepare. Like I know what I know now. I wish I would know like 20 years ago.
Yep.
But
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Thank you so much for sharing. All right. So we got one more person. Sarani, would you like to share? It should let you unmute.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hello. We can hear you.
Great. Well, two things before I answer that. Are you looking at this or are you looking at the YouTube chat? Because I'm not sure where to write and what you can see.
I can see the Q&A only.
Okay, so I won't write in YouTube. Okay, so I don't know. I love teaching, but I also still really love animals, and I probably would have gone back to be a regular vet or an equine vet. But yeah, but anything, if not that path, then definitely CS.
Cool. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. All right. So what we're going to talk about today is look at the 5 components of the Future Ready NYC program that we have in New York City schools. We're going to look at market data for the specific careers that Future Ready focuses on in New York City. We're going to explore the Tech Pathways curriculum. We'll discuss credentials of value. And then hopefully we'll have time to learn about the CS for All Pioneer calendar and discuss some impact of AI on tech careers. So here's what it looks like. We're going to talk a little bit about the Future Ready program, but I want to be clear. The Future Ready program is not something that you have to be in to be able to do these things. These are things that I'm sure so many of you are already doing, and so many of you can do, even if you're not a part of the program. So while I talk about Future Ready, just know that this is something that all people can do, and I'm sure so many of you are already doing. So we like to talk about in the Office of Student Pathways and in New York City, real skills, strong plan, and a head start. So that's those career readiness, computer science, financial literacy skills, post-secondary planning, advising, career connecting instruction, early college credit, and so on. The 5 components of Future Ready are individualized advising, career connected instruction, early credits and credential, work-based learning, and financial literacy. We're going to talk mostly today about career connected instruction and how we can prepare our students in our classrooms. So I appreciate everyone sharing if they could go back in time, what career they wanted to have. When I was growing up, and still if I could go back in time, I always wanted to be a game show host. And I loved Regis Philbin. So please indulge me here while we play a little game. And I'm going to live my dream of being a game show host. So I'm going to show a question on the screen. And then I guess everyone could type in the Q&A what they think the answer is. So we're going to play a game of Are You Future Ready? Question number 1. The median salary for this job in New York City is $122,000. Is it A, software developer, B, information security analyst, or C, data scientist? Give you a few seconds. You could type it in the Q&A. All right, so I see all different A's, B's, C's. Everyone really picked some different ones. Very interesting. So I will share the correct answer is B, information security analyst, a cybersecurity job. So the median salary in New York City for a job in cybersecurity is currently $122,000. So something to keep in mind as we continue through our discussion today. Let's go to question 2. Employment in New York is supposed to grow by 43% for which career? A, software developer, B, information security analyst, or C, data scientist? All right. Again, I see a lot of different answers. I see B, I see C, I see A. I even see one D, data scientist. A, B. Very nice. As a reminder, we're just typing in the Q&A. For this question, employment in New York is supposed to grow by 43%, is for C, data scientist. So data science, careers in data science are growing at a rate of 43%. Let's go to question 3. There are over 136,000 projected job openings over the next 10 years for which career? Is it A, software developer, B, information security analyst, or C, data scientist?
Wow, I am
All right. So I see a lot of A's. Very nice. So as teachers, some of us maybe figured out that the first two were the others. So that this one's going to be A, software developer. So there's over 136,000 projected job openings over the next 10 years for software developer. Question number 4. The CompTIA Security Plus credential can help me get a job in which career right out of high school? Is it A, software developer, B, information security analyst, or C, data scientist? The CompTIA Security Plus credential can help get me a job in which career right out of high school? A, software developer, B, information security analyst, or C, data scientist? I see a lot of B's, I see a lot of C's, but mostly B's. Wonderful. So the correct answer is B, information security analyst. Now we have our last question to win $1 million. This is a tough one. Artificial intelligence is going to affect which career? Is it A, software developer, B, information security analyst, C, data scientist, or D, all of the above? I see a lot of D's. All right, so of course, AI is going to affect all of these careers as well as all of the careers in the world. So congratulations. Did anyone get 5 out of 5? Feel free to type in the Q&A, give yourself a shout out for getting them all. If you did not get them all, that's okay as well. I will share that all of this information came from the ONET online website. It has all of the labor market information for these different careers. It tells you what's like a hot career. It tells you the skills you need for the careers. It gives you training and credential opportunities, and it targets for New York specifically, and you could do it for other states as well. I highly recommend looking at that. And that data is what we use to support all of the decisions we make in careers. Shout out to Thomas for getting 5 out of 5. Feel free to give yourself a shout out. Teresa, effort, love it. I support everyone. Thank you for trying that. And thank you for letting me live my dream of being a game show host. So we want to talk about career connected instruction. So if you scan that QR code on the screen, or if you click that link, you can take a look at the recommended curriculum that we have for our tech pathways. What I would really like you to notice is look for, are you doing this already? Is this curriculum that you're already using? Is it curriculum that you've heard of? Are you doing a different curriculum? Look at it, see if there's a curriculum you want to try. But that curriculum essentially is curriculum that is free, it's accessible, it's easy to use. It's curriculum that CS for All has supported if you have done CS for All. And it's curriculum that we are recommending for our sequence. We know there's a lot of different computer science curriculum out there. So if you have other curriculum you're using, feel free to share in the Q&A. But I just want to give everyone those resources. So, for software development, we have Computer Science Discoveries from code.org, which is a curriculum that's amazing and has been around forever. as well as Intro to Computational Media. You see we have AP exams offered for software development and data science. And then cybersecurity is really focused on those credentials. So feel free at your own time to look through that curriculum. You can scan the QR code on the screen to access that curriculum. I don't know, in the Q&A, we have an anonymous attendee posting the link. I don't know if everyone's able to see that, but the link to the curriculum is in the Q&A. And if not, you can scan this QR code to get it. Also, I'll quickly put up this slide one more time. So this will give you access to the slides. So you could scan that QR code, or you could go to tinyurl.com/TechSummitFRNYC to access those slides. And everything will be there. So that career connected instruction obviously is the essential piece to get students the skills necessary to learn what they need to learn for those careers and get credentials and pass the AP exams. On slide 16, I have links to some example credentials. So for cybersecurity, we are aligned with the CompTIA credentials. Again, those are not the only credentials, but they are credentials for cybersecurity that if you get it out of high school, your students can get a job in cybersecurity right out of high school. There's also the Certiport credentials. The Certiport credentials are also credentials that can support different careers. Those credentials might not be credentials that get you that high-paying, $126,000 job right out of high school, but they are credentials that give you those career skills. So I'm going to give you all like 5 minutes to just take a look at the curriculum and take a look at the credentials. Feel free to type in the Q&A if you have any questions, if you want to give yourself a shout out for you're already doing these amazing things, or if you have any questions for me. So we'll take about 5 minutes. I'll play some light music while we listen, and then you could post in the Q&A any questions you have, or if you just want to give yourself or someone else a shout out for saying, we're already doing these amazing things, or we're going to do these amazing things. All right, so we'll take about 5 minutes. Slide 15 and 16, you can scan those QR codes and check out the curriculum and credentials. All right, hopefully you had enough time to look through the curriculum and credentials. I was trying to answer some questions in the Q&A, so I hope I was able to get to most questions. So hopefully I was able to answer. I see one question. So these are sort of like the old vocation schools for plumbing or electrical. So what I will say to that is, career and technical education has been around for a very long time. And what I'm talking about in terms of the Future Ready program, or just, current times in general, is very similar, right? Getting those credentials, work-based learning, all those things are important. But remember that Who Wants to Be a Millionaire quiz, right? So these specific career titles are based on market data that shows the idea is if students study these things and learn it now, then these careers are growing. There will be a job opportunity for them when they graduate high school. They will have that, median salary of $122,000. So the only, the big thing here is that these careers, the market data backs that this is something that students can do, and it will help them to get that job that has openings and high paying right out of high school, college, whatever their path takes them. All right, so hopefully people were able to see the curriculum. Hopefully people were able to see the credentials. Hopefully you were able to see that you are already doing some of these things. Hopefully some of these things were new. I see I probably messed up the link to the slide deck. Probably. I apologize for that. I will change it and I will update it for you. But a really important thing to think about, right? We're talking about software developer. We're talking about data science. We're talking about cybersecurity. And in all of these careers, when we think about them, the people in these careers are mostly white men. And getting our students credentials, teaching them career-connected instruction, early college credit, all of these things are important. But if our students cannot see themselves in these careers, then that really could be problematic, right? In order for students to complete all of these things, it's extremely important that they see themselves in this career. There's a lot of research and data that shows students lose interest in STEM careers, right, in that like late middle school, early high school range, and we don't want that to happen. And there's other research that shows, specifically for girls, that if they have a role model in tech, if they have someone to look up to, someone to, see that looks like them, that they can relate to, they are more likely to stick with those STEM careers. So the CS for All Equity team created this Pioneer Calendar. The purpose of this calendar is to celebrate the accomplishments of past and present computer science pioneers, and specifically to highlight the work done by people from historically excluded groups. We hope that these pioneers inspire your students and serve to remind them that anyone can be a computer scientist, regardless of race, gender, or disability. So I want to take a few minutes here to just look at that CS for All Pioneer Calendar. If you scan that QR code, it should take you to the folder with the Pioneer Calendar. And what I want to just show you is that this is not just like a calendar. This is something that you could use in your classroom. For example, you can give the students the Pioneer Calendar and see, can you match them to the occupational title? So I have a little example here. I have 3 pioneers. I have the 3 occupational titles that we're talking about for Future Ready. Will take about 5 minutes. Feel free to scan the QR code, take a look at that CS for All Pioneer Calendar, and see if you could find these 3 pioneers and match them to the occupational title. I'll play some music while we're doing it. Hopefully a YouTube ad doesn't come up while I'm playing. Feel free to type in the Q&A any questions or things like that, or just share that ways you've used the calendar. Feel free to just give yourself a shout out this entire time. All right, so we'll take about 3 to 5 minutes. Just look at that calendar, and you can type in the Q&A, matching the pioneers to the software, data science, or cybersecurity occupational title. All right, enjoy looking at that, and I will try to answer some questions in the Q&A while we're doing it. All right, so hopefully you had a great time exploring the CS Pioneer calendar. I appreciate people putting their answers in the chat. Shout out to the tech and orchestra teacher. I appreciate everyone asking about the music, asking about the slides. Hopefully, my hope is that you could literally take any one thing, even if it's just the music from this presentation, and somehow use it in your class. So respect for everybody doing those different things. Quickly, for our game, we have our three pioneers here. So Annie Easley, right, was a computer scientist who was one of the first African-American women to work for NASA. She developed software for the Centaur rocket stage, which helps a rocket break through the Earth's atmosphere. So that was our software developer. We have Joy Buolamwini, founder of the Algorithmic Justice League. Her research focused on human bias and how it shapes computer science. Right? And that's our data scientist and cybersecurity, Tara Astingarga, IBM master inventor with over 75 patents, inventions in storage, security, networking, and blockchain. So hopefully, maybe you knew some of those pioneers, maybe you do not. Okay, I'm back. All right, I don't know what happened there, but I think we still have time. Give me 1 second. Okay. Hopefully everyone can hear me and see me. Cool. Okay. I think I lost internet there. All right, so let's talk about AI. Does anyone remember that song that I was playing in the beginning when you first came in? Does anyone type in the Q&A? Do you remember what that song was? Who was singing or what the song was? Yeah, I'm glad my presentation was not hacked by hostile entities. So it's interesting. I see people are typing in the Q&A. That song I was playing in the beginning, someone put Queen and someone put Toxicity. I know the lyrics. So that song was Freddie Mercury singing Toxicity by System of a Down. Any idea of how that's possible? Right? That wasn't actually Freddie Mercury singing Toxicity by System of a Down. That was AI. So someone took Freddie Mercury's voice. All right, and shout out to Lila who did the last AI session, if anyone attended there. Someone took the data of Freddie Mercury's voice, plugged it into an algorithm, and that is actually AI predicting what it thinks Freddie Mercury's voice would be if he were to sing Toxicity by System of a Down. Right? So that was not Freddie Mercury singing. That was actually AI predicting what his voice sounded like as Freddie Mercury passed away before System of Down's existence. Exactly. If you look through this slide deck, this image was generated using Adobe Firefly with the prompt Tech Career Connected Instruction. All of these different images that I put throughout this presentation were all generated using AI. So AI is not only impacting tech careers or other careers, it's impacting art, it's impacting music. AI is going to have this impact on all of our different careers. And we want to make sure that our students and ourselves know and understand what AI is, how it works, how it impacts us, our lives, our careers, both the positives and the negatives. You know, someone bravely shared in the Q&A, like, I'm scared. Yeah, there's a lot of scary things going on, and making sure that our students are informed, that we're informed, that we understand the bias in data and the algorithms and the impact this is having on our lives is so important, right? Joanna shared that was, this was the reason that Hollywood was protesting, right? We had the writer strike. So this is already having impacts, and it will continue to have an impact. So I'm wondering, we have a few minutes, if anyone would like to raise their hand to share how they think AI might impact some of these careers, what they're doing in their classroom already to do this, or something they might want to do in the classroom, something they're worried about. If anyone would like to share, I'm going to try to do this feature again. So I see Sonia Burke. If you would like to come off mic and share your feelings on the impact of AI and anything you're already doing or want to learn more about, you should be able to unmute.
Do you hear me?
We can hear you. Thank you so much for volunteering and raising your hand.
Yes, my name is Sonia Burke. I forgot to lower my hand the first time, but I will speak. I use AI with my students almost every single day. And I use it whether if it's to check their grammar, whether if it's to look for jobs in the 21st century, because a lot of our students, they've heard of the typical jobs, but there's so many jobs that are out there that they have not heard of. So when I was said, let's research 1,000 different jobs. They say, oh, a mortician? What does a mortician do? I'm like, oh. And then with that, it allows us to do further research. So AI has really opened up my eyes as a professional, because I've been in this field for over 25 years or so. And when I went to school, you would just do X, Y, Z. And whatever the professor tells you or your family, that's what you were exposed to. So AI, I love it, I love it, I love it, because it gives our children exposure beyond what I can imagine as an educator. So I use it every single day. And I'm a guidance counselor, so I use it. I use it for financial literacy, the college process. I use it for post-secondary planning, because we have to start thinking about post-secondary planning in kindergarten, not just when they get to high school or even before that. So I love it. I use it. I embrace it. Yes, it has its challenges. And I think because of my obstacles, but once I move beyond my obstacles and my fear, it opens up the world. And
Absolutely.
I wish when I went to college, I would have majored in AI, but as I'm thinking, AI has been around. Because when I think of the fax machine, that's AI. I think of the token booth clerk, that's AI. I think of the way I pay my MetroCard fare, that's AI. So I use it every single day. So it has been around, but they use a different terminology. If you remember the cell phone back in the days, you had a big cell phone. Now you have iPod, iPhone, so all those things are AI.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing. Appreciate that. I see some great questions in the chat talking about ownership, right? Who owns this, right? Is it the person whose voice we're using, right? Is it Freddie Mercury because we're using his voice? Is it the person that put Freddie Mercury's voice into the algorithm? Is it the person who created the algorithm? I don't know, right? Go back to that Hollywood strike, like who owns these things, right? I see a great question from R. Gomar. Will AI affect philosophy using past philosophers and their philosophies? Very philosophical question. I love it, right? So an idea with AI, as you remember, AI is only as good as the data that we put into it. So if we put data that is biased, it is perpetuating those biases. If we only put one philosopher's philosophy into AI, we'll only see that philosophy. So those are some great questions, right? Talk about the lawsuits. But there are ways to think about that could be positive, right? Creating different learning activities for students based on their needs. We just always need to keep in mind the bias and the impact AI might have, right? Because AI could always get something wrong. AI is only as good as the data that you put into it. So I want to give a shout out to Lila in the past session. If some people attended, did a great session on AI. I know there's going to be an AI session coming up. I believe it's at the next session with Shana White from the Kapoor Center and Christy Crawford and Melissa Parker from CS for All. Definitely give a recommend to go to that session. I will quickly say thank you all. I apologize for my weird internet issue that's never happened before. And I was talking beforehand about how I learned the hard way with these things, so I have to figure out what happened there. But feel free to send me an email if you have any questions or anything about this. Again, I'm the Pathways Instructional Coach from Future Ready, but a lot of what we do in Future Ready supports things that you're already doing or things that people can do in their classrooms now. Also, that is the AI Funko Pop version of me. If you would like to learn how I created that, I can share that with you as well. We have 2 minutes left. If you want to type any questions you have in the Q&A, I'm happy to answer any questions you have. If not, thank you all for joining. Thank you for allowing me to live my dream to be a game show host. I hope you have a fun rest of the day and think about how AI and tech and all the things impact access and AI and philosophy and bias and things like that. Thank you all. We have a minute left. If you have any questions you want to type in the Q&A, I will try to answer them now. If not, thank you all for coming. Have a nice rest of the day. Thank you again. Thank you, Alexis. See you soon. Thank you all. Thank you all. Is that Matthew South? Nice, thank you for joining. You're welcome, teacher. The QR code for the slides is here. If you want to send me an email, I can show you how to do the Funko Pop. Very cool to think about the potential of AI on an electrical. I would definitely love to hear how that can incorporate. Thank you all. Have a nice rest of the day. Yep, anyone can send me an email and I can show you how you make a Funko Pop version of yourself. You're welcome. All right. I think the Zoom is going to close out any second. I appreciate you all. These slides, I will share the link with you now. I forgot. I think I messed up the slides. I apologize for that. Hopefully you just got it.